The newbies are up next.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins are here. Here they are. They're kicking off with their first game against the Chooks. And the Raiders, and then Newcastle, Brisbane, and
we
Dragons.
missed someone.
That's not entirely horrible.
Who have I missed? Hang on. What?
The Eels
Yeah, I was going to
and
say the
Dragons.
D. Yeah, we went from K to D. I was thinking that too. I was like, Jesus Christ.
All right, Parramatta. Give me a
Reverse
sec.
mascot.
Parramatta have gone from grand
Fuck it, I'm on the
finalists to
Dolphins.
being
We're doing
back
the Dolphins.
to...
Shut
We're
up.
doing the Dolphins.
Doing the Dolphins.
Come on,
Fuck
Dolphins.
it.
All
Let's
right,
go
let's
Dolphins.
go the
Dolphins.
All right, done.
They play the Broncos, Cowboys, Dragons, Knights, Roosters, Raiders, Titans, Warriors. They've got 12 Saturday games.
Oh, that goes... See, they were... So when there was announced there was going to be a second Brisbane team, apparently it was Channel 9 heavily behind that because they thought it was going to be a ratings grab. But if they've got all these Saturday games, either Channel 9 been lauded
They do
or...
have... No, but they
you
they
got
do
the Broncos
play,
Friday.
They play every Queensland
the
team
Dolphins
twice.
Saturday.
Okay.
So they'll
and
play
the
them.
Titans Sunday.
Yeah.
Happy days.
The Titans have got a free-to-wear game.
No, you're the 2 o'clock game on the Sunday.
Oh!
Might get moved to the NRLW yet. Don't get too excited. All right. Well,
Monday night.
I hope the Titans win the NRLW at least.
Well,
the Tigers will win that.
They've got lots of... they haven't signed anyone yet because no one knows how much to pay anyone.
What about the Sharks? The Sharks are in it as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
They're fucking... They got like half the Australian team.
Yeah,
If the Tigers don't win it, there's
pretty
something
good team.
going wrong.
I'd love it if all the Tigers went to those players and said, "So you sticking with us?" Nah, and they all just.
How do I do it? Here's their squad.
Yep.
Aitken, Bromwich, Collins.
No, don't worry about all that. We'll just give us your top 17. You got a 17 there?
No, you do.
I've got one.
Yeah, go
You
for
do
it.
All right, fullback. I've got Tessie New.
Ooh.
On the wings, I've got Asako and Lee. In the centres,
Just
I've
before
got.
you continue, the coach came out today and said Hammer's going to be the
I'm
fullback.
sick and tired of these coaches who think they know more than me coming out and saying stuff that I don't see. I would go Tessie New over Tabuai Fido because more experience in the position in the NRL and more recent experience in the position in the NRL. That's why. Tabuai Fido and Aiken in the centres, Milford and O'Sullivan the halves, Bromwich and Wallace at prop. Wallace I was a bit unsure about. Asako and Lee.
Asako and Lee, yeah.
Marshall King as the hooker.
Yep.
I've got Kafusi and Gilbert as the second rows. I am tipping that by the end of this year, Gilbert will be the player's player at the Dolphins.
I think Gilbert will be lock.
Stone I've got as lock, but he's injury prone, so that's a bit
Gilbert at lock and Kafusi and Kenny Bromwich back row.
Okay, well, I've
It'll be either
got
Stone or
Bromwich on the
Gilbert.
bench.
Yeah.
I've got Nicarima.
Which Bromwich on the bench?
Kenny.
What? Go on. You're wrong, but get going.
I got Kafusi and Gilbert as the second rowers. And
No, Kenny
Stone.
starts.
I've got
Gilbert starts at
Nicarima,
lock.
Kenny, Esiasi, and Farmasuli.
Jared Wallace is in this, isn't he?
Wallace's front row.
His
with
front row.
Jesse
Oh,
Bromwich.
sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you mentioned your front row.
Yeah, Professor and...
You just weren't
I
listening.
was Bromwiched out.
No, Nichols will be on the bench.
Nichols
You
was on
have
the bench.
Wallace
Wallace
on
was
the
you know what? I
Jesse
completely
Bromwich.
I completely forgot to put Nichols in there.
Bit rude.
I love him so much as well. I don't know what happened.
All right, we'll I'll
Wayne,
run
Wayne
through-
Bennett's a coach.
I've got Hammer
and
at
I assume
one.
Jesse Bromwich is
I've
captain.
got Edric Lee and Asako in the wings, Tessie New and Aitken, possibly Lemu, but apparently
Aitken will be.
he wants to play back row. So,
Lemmy does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the
Doesn't matter.
Cowboys
Aitken's
at the end
better
of
than
last year. So yeah, but he wants to play back row too. So anyway, a lot of back rowers in this team. Milford and O'Sullivan in the halves, Wallace and Jesse Bromwich in the front row, Jeremy Marshall King at hooker, Kafusi and Kenny Bromwich in the back row, Gilbert at 13, Cody Nicarima at 14, sorry. Lemulumu at 15, Nichols at 16, and Herman S.A. at 17.
Can I just interject quickly?
Sure.
There are about 7 other teams where I had the perfect 17 for I could have read out, but you picked the one where I forgot people. It's more of an indictment on me, but I'm just projecting my
I'll let
anger.
you do Parramatta next, huh?
Farmasili
Okay.
is a notable admission. So same with Gildart. I'm not even sure if he forces his way into the team by the end of the year, to be honest.
Yes, he will. I have belief. He'll do a Gilroy Lockhart
He'll
and
be the,
find his way in there, like in the Chamber of
He'll be the
Secrets.
Dom Young of this year.
I think young Katoa will eventually either force Milford out of the 6th position and take that. And Ray Stone is another one that should probably be in the 17.
Ray
but
Stone
may just miss out.
He could start lock. He could miss his team. I don't know. Ray Stone. Nice player.
He's good, but the injury last year has put
I'm sure
a
he's
lot
training
of
the
doubt.
house down and
They've got a decent 17. They've got nothing outside their 17. Very strong forward pack. Some talented outside backs, but they're very hit and miss on their day. Like, you look through that 1 to 5 and one might have a good day and 4 of them are going to have a bad day.
Sarko fan, ask him.
I will never forgive the Titans for coming in last minute when he'd all but signed with Parramatta. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I think Tessie New and probably Edric Lee are the most consistent out of that. Oh, sorry, Aiken. Tessie New and Aiken are the most consistent out of that back 5. But, yeah, it could be rocks or diamonds for the rest of them. They're going to struggle to score points, realistically. I can't see a lot of creative play apart from barge overs from back rowers and short crash plays where they're going to score points when they get up on the opposition line. There's not a lot of ball playing in this team. O'Sullivan will kick him into decent field position, but when was the last time you saw Milford put someone away for a try?
Oh, no, yeah, once. There was a couple last year.
When he played a couple of games.
Came back from Newcastle.
Yeah. Newcastle, sorry, yeah, that's right, and played a couple of decent games. But I think their forward pack should match it with most of them most weeks. But
County Bromwich will play.
There's not enough points. There's not enough points in this side for them to worry too many above the bottom 4.
At least they have, in theory, some X factor in Hammer and New.
Yeah.
New a couple of times last year and year before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looked like
he produced stuff out his arse.
Absolutely.
It was tremendous.
Edric Lee can jump up and catch a high ball.
So they'll have some points of attack at least. I struggle to know how to really line them up, apart from, yes, they'll have a solid forward base at least, and you work forward from there. I'm sure all those Melbourne boys are really happy if the new Gold Coast digs, so good on them. Or actually a bit further up, isn't it, Redcliffe? They're not going to get towed. I don't think they're going to run last. I don't think they're going to be embarrassed, but I don't see them making the 8. That halves, like Sean O'Sullivan's another, good old tradesman, young tradesman.
A lot of people have been giving him raps, but for those games he played at Penrith. But I said it then, I'll say it now. Isaiah covered him a fair bit in terms of the game control.
Yeah, and he's behind the best forward pack in the game, and Appy was there.
Yeah,
so
his whole game's based
I feel
around
like
his
it's a
kicking
whole different kettle of fish for Sean
It's
O'Sullivan.
all based around his kicking game, and realistically, he needs a foil outside of him, and I think that will be Katoa by the end of the year. But at the moment, yes, not great. It's going to take time for combinations. Like, seriously, they've come together, the whole team. Like, yeah, they've got a nucleus in the forwards with the Melbourne boys that are going to, but they all defend on different parts of the field. They're not defending next to each other. They might be able to help their outside men, but when you get to the outside edges and different parts in the middle of the field, there's going to be holes. There's going to be defensive structural issues for probably half the season, realistically. And there's going to be attacking structural issues for probably the first half of the season. Until you hit the back end, they might come good and put a run on for a few games at the back end of the year. I'm with you. I don't think they'll finish last. I think they might just sneak out of the bottom 4, but it's going to be one or two. They're either going to just fall into the bottom 4 or they're going to be just out of the bottom 4. They're going to be right in the mix of being bottom 4.
There's going to be a team that's going to completely shit the bed this year and run last. We don't know what it is yet, but I don't think it's them.
I see this Dolphins side as not too dissimilar to...
When was the last new team in a comp? It's exciting
the
to have
Titans,
something new.
2007.
Yeah,
I see this Dolphins side as not too dissimilar to a 2020 or 2021 Bulldogs, where they emphasise just completing sets and defence.
Work.
I think gritty. I think a pass mark for the Dolphins, as lower down as it sounds, is losing half your games by 12 points or less and staying in competitions, because against the lower sides, if you can sort of hold that defensive effort, which I think they can, you probably can just get over the top of some sides. It'll be gritty, it'll be tough, but if they are going to win games, it's going to be through making minimal errors, giving the opposition the least amount of opportunities that they can, in attack so that your defense doesn't have to overwork, so that they can put in a solid effort every week and just keep teams to a low score line and just be in games. Maybe not do anything crazy, but as I said, the emphasis should be in attack, complete your sets, and in defense, just a solid defensive effort and
if I was
be
in this,
scrappy
if
and
I was
gritty.
in this side and we didn't finish in the bottom 4, I would
That's a
party
big-
like
yeah,
I'd won the
yeah.
fucking competition.
And you know what? The
Seriously.
thing is as well, a lot of people are bagging Wayne Bennett, and I think it's Peter O'Sullivan, the recruitment manager, and that for the failure of recruitment in 2023. Look at the players even November 1st last year that were on the market. There were no halves, no decent halves, no one really in the spine. They did.
Look at this squad.
They
man.
just
Look
about
at this
did as
front-
well as they
look at
could.
this forward pack.
They got
That is
they-
a fucking
well,
decent
they
forward
looked
pack.
at the market, and
And-
the strongest area in the market was the forward pack. So they went and signed the best forwards in the market, and
Yeah.
they signed all their forwards first, and then they looked at the backs because there were no real star backs to begin with.
You got Hammer and New, who could be absolutely fucking anything.
And those are the
On
two
their
players
day,
that
they
got
are
released early from their
fantastic
contracts, and they got
fucking
them.
players.
Ewan Aiken was the Warriors' best player for a large
But-
part of last year as well.
They did the best they could.
And also Bennett is on record as saying he's finding blokes to start a culture at a club, and Jesse Bromwich, Felice Kafusi, Mark Nichols are blokes
Kenny
that
Bromwich.
yes, look, they're, let's say in 3 to 5 years' time, they're blokes that are going to probably move up there, be involved in the culture.
Ewan Aiken, probably
Be-
Jeremy Marshall King.
Josh King,
defense
be
coach,
defense
etc.
coaches,
yeah.
run drink, run water, and their blokes will be Dolphins.
Yeah.
To have these other your who is it? The young
You
front
look
rower.
at Gilbert and Jeremy Marshall King.
yeah.
They'll probably be leaders in this team for the next 5 or 6
I think
years.
his name.
Yeah.
Ryan, what's his name? I'm good with names tonight. Hoffman, Hackman, something like that. They've got a couple of like gun.
Yeah, they've
find
got
him.
the hooker Harry
Damn it.
Graham and
Ryan Jackson, sorry,
Katoa from Penrith
and
as well in the halves.
blokes like that. They're the blokes they're going to. If the Dolphins are going to have success, it's going to be the young blokes. It's not going to be these
It's going
guys.
to be 3 or
It's
4
But
years
you're going to
from
put
now.
these guys into a
Yeah.
system that they need
Yeah.
to build for 20 years, not for.
Yeah, I just think sort of in a way that the masses, if you will, sort of just need to understand this is a project. It's not all going to come. It's not what the media
I think
at first led people to believe, that this new team's going to come in, sign all the
No.
players and win the comp
But
in a
it's the
couple of
same
years.
as you
It's
go
just
through
not going to
everybody.
happen.
You go through, look, and it's the old Fox Wayne Bennett. Look at the first thing Tim Sheens did. He came out and cleaned out a forward pack.
Yeah.
Look at you build from the front and work backwards. They've probably got an 18-year-old
Look
freak
at
that
They would have only
It's-
got maybe one marquee player, right?
Yeah.
You throw Munster into this team.
Yeah.
Did they finish much higher than
No.
15th?
No.
Or, 13th?
And 18 months in, Munster's
You
whinging
throw
because
Ponga
his market value is halved.
Yeah,
and,
you throw Ponga into this team.
Mm.
Do they finish much higher than 14?
wouldn't make a.
You know what I mean?
No.
And they were the two big guys that they were
Yeah.
going for. So realistically, this team, like, you've got half the team's young blokes that will progress after this year.
Yeah.
The rest of them probably got a year, maybe 2 in it to instill a culture and, as you said, and
Yeah.
build a team and get, this.
Yeah.
They could be anything in 4 or 5 years. From
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it's just really the only thing is it's the recruitment has not actually been bad. Unfortunately,
been fucking good, man.
unfortunately, the Dolphins have just joined the competition at a time where the market was shit.
It's been good.
To be
And
honest,
2
yeah, and
years
they
from
did
now,
all they
I
could.
agree,
They
they've
did
done well.
everything
They've
they
set
could.
up.
realistically, all they need is you could even just leave O'Sullivan there, a fucking marquee 6 and a marquee back rower or a marquee centre.
If you
And-
I'd like, but what more do you want
Improves
for
it,
apart from
yeah?
you've got the Australian second row? What he played for? He played for
Kafusi.
Kafusi, played for Tonga,
Yeah.
and the
But he's
two
played
Kiwi
for
internationals.
Queensland for forever.
for 10 years.
So's Bromwich and
Yeah.
Bromwich and
And the thing is too,
Yeah.
if in a year or two time you chuck a decent half in there, Marshall King and Tabuai Fido or New, whoever it ends up being, are going to be
Yeah.
better for it. So you don't really
The
need to
Marshall
worry
King had
about
a breakout
those.
season.
He was great last
Fantastic
year, and I
last year.
think, and I
And
think,
Ray Stone was probably about to ascend, and he
he got
destroyed
injured.
his leg,
And
yeah.
you know, as I said, for a team that's
Tom
probably
Gilbert's on
yeah.
the up. He's someone they'll build a pack around
Yeah,
down the road.
for a team
Think so.
that's going to have to heavily be defensive minded, Jeremy Marshall King,
Yeah.
he's great.
well, this team
that
is
team.
going to be changing and changing for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Like they're going to have to recycle players and continually change, and it's probably going to be 3 years of shit, realistically. Like 3 years of them being down the bottom of the table. But if, as you said, if they instill that culture and get the right people in there to make this team go where they want to, there's a couple of leaders that can build on it. And
Yeah.
you go from
Mark
there.
Nichols will be involved with the club till he's 60, probably. He's the sort of bloke that, and that's what Bennett said. He wants blokes.
Well, he's loyal to Bennett as well, isn't he? So.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree. They're bottom 4, but they will be fine.
They also do seem like a team.
And they'll get and it's, there's a difference between being bottom 4 and losing every week by 60.
And being
Whereas they can be, there'll be a lot of games where it'll
They
be
won't get
18, 14.
Yeah.
And you go,
They'll be a team where they'll come up against some of the better teams in the comp, and most people will tip them to get flogged. But then it'll end up a 12-4 or whatever, and that better team will have struggled a bit. But class is what overcame it in the end.
I can only see 3 or 4 teams like just kicking down their front door and running all over the top.
Yeah, and they'll do that to every other team
everybody
anyway,
else.
so it doesn't matter.
So,
Anything else, Dad?
no.
It's,
Cool.
yeah.